Hello and welcome. It is Monday Club. We're back. So this week we're going to be talking about a number of different topics. We're going to be having a recap of the last, maybe, I don't know how many episodes it's been, James.
It's the annual review. It's like when you get a new job, you have to review your employer on 6
Definitely
months.
not been annual though, is it?
This is, well, no, anal. It's my anal review.
First 5 minutes again.
What? Anal's a real word.
Anyway, so we're doing a little review today, but we're also going to be talking about the fact that city and guilds have bought trade skills for you. That's going to be a subject we follow, and just a few bits and pieces, and basically me mocking Jamie for having one of the worst accents other than Mark.
All right, Duck.
Anyway, right, so let's get into this. But before we do, head over to Verso. They do fuse boards and household wiring accessories. They are the absolute nuts. I really, really like their products. They're very well made. We had Will on last week from Verso just to have a chat because our guest blew out. And
Don't say that.
Down a storm.
Don't say that. We asked him on. He didn't blow anyone out. That's a lie.
No, it's not a lie.
We asked him. I wanted him
Our guest
on.
blew out.
He was on the list, though. It's not like we got him on because he was desperate. He was on the list of guests. He was the next person we called.
I don't think he was.
I think he was. I wanted him on to talk
He
to
don't
him.
care.
So right. Well, he might do. You
To be
might wait
honest
for the
with you, I think if one of us can't make a podcast in the future, he will be a very good stand-in host.
I've sold my soul to Verso now. I like Will. I like his products. And I like the fact that he was in our comments chatting to people last week. So, yeah, I'm advertising for him. Get over it, bitches.
Well, you've sold your soul to the devil.
No one's going to but yeah, I like him. I like the products. What's not to like? Give him a try.
Why are we looking so dishevelled today and drinking tea rather than
It's Sunday.
whiskey?
It's so we never get let down by guests, never. But there are certain issues around getting everyone together. So this week it's just one of those weeks where we had two lined up, didn't we? And unfortunately, it's not come together for either of them. So it's now Sunday, and we are recording this emergency podcast. However, with some of the stuff we're going to talk about, it's probably best that just me and you do it anyway.
Yes, some. Well, what's the first thing you want to get into?
Well, first of all, I have been known on this channel to say I hate two-person podcasts. However, I have now learned that this is sometimes not a bad thing to do.
Listen, there's no reason not to like two-person podcasts. Sometimes it's easier, and certainly if you do it regularly, you start. It becomes easier to do regularly. Like having the third person on the podcast is always.
It's them. It's about them, then, isn't it? It's about the person then. Whereas I was like, the other night I thought I could do doing some admin. Like I've been doing it a while. I wonder if there's any feedback. But we don't want people feeding back on this on a guest podcast. So we're just going to do these bits tonight. So yeah, you was right. So fuck you.
But go on. What's the number one issue, fool?
Trade skills for you have been purchased by city and guilds.
I know, right?
To explain this at the most, in my opinion, I'm going to explain this in what I see it. The people that set the exams and the courses have bought a training company that is delivering the exams and the courses.
Which is awesome.
No, you're a shithead. That is the worst idea ever.
Why is it?
Because it's poacher turn gamekeeper, innit? It's shitting on your own doorstep. It's not good for the trade.
What are you talking about, mate? So if the city and guilds set the standard for the courses across the industry,
correct?
And now that they
no, they offer a course that's a standard. Yeah.
So they offer a course. They have to be white and white. They can't be doing anything. I would say lose their accreditation, don't they, to be able to deliver courses?
This is very technical. I don't think they have an accreditation. I don't know how it works on that level. I don't want to get to that level because I don't think most people are interested.
They've got to remain.
Yeah, they do.
Holier than now.
Yeah, but we're shouting. This is for spot. If I'm sure Mark will do an apprentice 1-to-1 if anyone wants to know the nuts and bolts on the training side and all that stuff. But we're talking to almost Barkis, so I don't want to go into that. But what I'm saying is, how can someone who's delivering and checking something then teach it and exchange money for it? It's like it's like a school doing their exams. It's open to such abuse.
No, it's not.
Yeah, of course it is.
I think sometimes you have to trust in the system. City and guilds have been around a long time. They that to me, the city and guilds qualification is the actual qualification. for a
I
spark.
used to think that, but they've totally shut us, I think. Now,
No, I don't think so. It's still fairly difficult.
let me put it to you like this then, yeah? Sitting Guilds are a huge organisation. If you go to the Sitting Guilds website and start typing random numbers, I do believe, don't quote me on this might be slightly wrong, but 2391, something like 2394 is about plaiting horses' hair. There's a Sitting Guilds in that, yeah? They cover this massive range of stuff. So why are they trying to buy an electrical company? It's got to be for money. It's got to be money driven. And if an example
for money driven in the Western society, and I'm not saying it's good or bad.
I'm not sure whether Sitting Guild should be an independent, non-profit making thing because they're setting the standards. I don't know what the rules are, but I'm saying it just seems odd, and I'm out of shot. It seems odd.
I would be surprised if Sitting Guilds. I'm gonna Google it now because I'd be really surprised if Sitting Guilds are a profit organisation.
Right, we'll check that. We'll fact check that because I think that is important to this conversation. But to me, if you sent your kid to school and they goes, "Oh, don't worry, we're running his own exam. We've got a charity, yeah,
yeah,
don't mean the non-profit,
Royal Chartered Institute and registered charity.
Right,
everything we do is charitable and invest into our surplus, expanding and enhancing our solutions.
Let's say we set up a charity, yeah, and we pay ourselves expenses for starters.
Listen, so I've actually.
You've done this.
I'm going to do a you now. I've worked for a charity.
Right. Well done. Building bridges in Afghanistan, was it or something?
No, it wasn't. It was, oh, mate, this is... Right. So when I was younger, I didn't come straight out of school into sparking. I came out and I started fanning about with IT, and then I went into sales because obviously I can talk. And I ended up at a place called Premier Publishing.
Right.
And I was quite green, quite wet behind the ears, but I could always pick up the phone and have a conversation. And they sold a magazine called Children's Cancer Care.
Right.
And so you used to sell advertising in the magazine, Children's Cancer Care.
Mm-hmm.
Low-hanging fruit, mate. Sell it all day long.
Yeah.
They would
twins on the heartstrings.
Yeah. So I was... so one of the things we got told... It's going to be in Asda and Sainsbury's and stuff like that all across the country. We produce 50,000 books, blah, blah, blah. But really, when I found out about 6 months after working there, and I mean, there was mad money flying around there.
Yeah.
Like, big money. Some people were taking on 20 grand a month.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
I'm thinking where this is going.
So I found out that they only produced enough booklets to send to the people who had advertised in them. So if they had 50 advertisers in it, they only needed to print off 50 books.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there will be sparkies now, and any tradesman listening to this scream at the radio saying, "Oh, I've had the police one ring me, I've had the fire brigade one ring me." That is a well-known scam, isn't it? Obviously, you didn't know that. You're selling it genuinely.
So it was a registered charity. Children's Cancer Care is a registered charity, but by law, you only needed... And I don't know the real law about it. But I was told you only need to give, as a charity, £5,000.
Yes.
To the calls you're doing each year. The rest can go on administration and stuff. So Premier Publishing used to sell on behalf of Children's Cancer Care, keep all the money.
Yeah. And there's scams like that. They could, for example, own a building that they use for that business and rent it off themselves.
Yes.
So this... Just because it's a charge doesn't mean nothing, does it? It can still move money around.
Nothing. So I left the day I found out. And it's not because I'm virtuous or anything like that. I was just like, wow, I can't be part of that.
It's like morally wrong, isn't it?
I was like, I can't do that.
We need to, hang on. We're not saying Sitting Guild's doing this. But what we're saying is, there are ways for them to make money out of it. And it sounds like an acquisition for money making. I don't see what it offers the qualification or the management of the qualification.
What is going on with my camera today? For Christ's sake.
You look great, mate, like always.
Yeah, but it keeps going in and out of focus. Right, so...
For audio viewers, Sam's going in and out of focus.
So, for over 140 years, we've worked with people, organisations and economies to help them identify, develop the skills they need to thrive.
See, that just sounds like bollocks to me.
We understand life-changing link between skills development, social mobility and prosperity and success. We partner with our customers to deliver work-based learning programs that build competency to support better prospects for people, organisations and wider society. We create flexible learning pathways to support lifelong employability. Didn't even know that was a word. because we believe that people deserve the opportunity to retrain, relearn again and again, gaining new skills at every stage of life, regardless of where they start, which would be wholly applicable to me.
Does it say on the bottom, we bought the #1 electrical sausage factory? Does it say that?
Listen, we are
allegedly.
We are a Royal Chartered Institute and registered charity. Everything we do is charitable. We invest our surplus into expanding and enhancing solutions across all of our brands to meet the changing needs of organisations and industries. And throughout our City and Guilds Foundation, we amplify our purpose by focusing on high impact social investment, recognition, advocacy programs, which will remove barriers to getting a job.
Stop! It's all bollocks. That's all corporate bullshit speak.
Yeah, it is. That's like their mission statement, isn't it?
What I'm saying is, and again, I don't dive into trade too much, but a few years ago, the government said, "Oh, we're going to put 70,000 more apprentices through." So what did they do? Did they train apprentices for existing apprenticeship schemes? No. What they did was they made being a cleaner and being a barman an apprenticeship. Yeah, and they've massaged the numbers, didn't they? So this isn't going to. This is not going to improve anything. I can't see, and I'll tell you what. If we don't want to go into it, let's leave it. Let's park it and review it in a year's time and see how City and Guilds acquiring trade skills for you will benefit the delivery of courses and exams by City and Guilds. No, apart from Wedge.
See, here's the thing, right? I'm going to have a look at trade skills for you, because they used to be really bad for just knocking out people selling courses. Right. It was our perception.
Allegedly,
hold on. It was the perception of electricians that I know and of which ilk I'm in, that trade skill for you would just bang out electricians without actually being proper electricians. So they do the course, do the theory, off you go. You got a qualification in being an electrician.
Fuck all. I'm just bringing up my Twitter. I appreciate if you are a viewer, this might be a bit tedious, but we're trying to get a few facts here. The other day I shared on my Twitter, which is anyone could look at, I shared one of their adverts, right? And I need to quote it. So I'll just dig it out. So I appreciate for audio viewers, you just sat there looking at a pair of twats.
So I'm just on trade skills for you, right? Now, they say they got 3 things. Beginner, apprenticeships, MVQ gold card.
What the fuck?
But this is the problem. There is no one qualification for electricians.
Look behind me, yeah? And I'm going to be wordy on this, even though I'm a dyslexic retard. Yeah, I'm going to be wordy on this because I can spot things. Yeah,
definitely can't say that.
I'm the them. Yeah, so it's trade skills for advert sponsored. Yeah, become an electrician in 4 steps. It says in big letters, become an approved electrical contractor. Yeah, being approved is joining a scheme like Napier or the NSA. You can't train to be one of them. That's something you get after. That's saying, that's misleading. I think.
No, I don't think it is. Listen, if you do that course and you get them tickets, you can then go and get your NAPIT or NIC.
No, you can't. Not anymore, because you need a 4-year apprenticeship behind you. So,
no, that's not right.
No, they swapped it because NIC were getting so much flack on with NAPIT about all the short courses. They got picked up by their governing body who says, no, you've got to do a proper apprenticeship now. So you cannot get...
There's no 4-year apprenticeships anymore.
Yeah, but you need to do MVQ. You can't get this without an MVQ. But they're missing that fact out. They just call it 4 steps. Don't say how big the steps are.
Click on it. See what the 4 steps are before you start mugging it off.
I'm mugging it off because I've looked into it. These adverts that they put up, they're just misleading. They're just bad for the trade. Don't care what anyone says. I tell you what, if City and Guilds start doing more honest advertising, like you can become an electrician by doing all these courses and this 4-year MVQ and all that stuff, they're great. But to me, this is bullshit.
Yeah, but you know what? I reckon there's some people out there that would say, and here's an argument. I don't know if I fully support this argument, but there is an argument for people who are older, like 30, 40 years old, or maybe even like late 20s, early 30s, who do a career change. They're a competent grown man who is hyper focused on building a trade base for their family to earn off.
Yeah,
don't need to do a 4-year apprenticeship.
Right, this is a different kettle of fish because I'm sure a lot of people think I totally hate retrainers, which I don't. Right, I think everyone's entitled to retrain, not a problem, and I stand by that. And then people can come in late in the game and all that. Some of my best friends are retrainers. Yeah, as the old joke goes. But these people are selling a dream to people who want to come in quick and make coin. They're not. This
See, I
firm
don't
does not
believe that.
exist.
It depends. Right. Say you want to be a domestic electrician, right?
Mhm.
And you're a savvy, driven man, right? Or
Yeah.
woman, whatever. You're savvy, you're driven, you're super competent, and you just chose the wrong skill set early on in your life, and now you want to want to go into being an electrician. You can't tell me that it should take that savvy, skilled, competent man, and I mean competent in terms of life skills and all the stuff, like all that sort of stuff. It's not going to take him as long as it is to take a 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old who's focused on getting as much money as they can so they can go out on the weekend and then buy a 1.2 car that they put a load of stuff on. That's what happens.
Where's the short courses for HV electricians? Because there isn't, is there? Because they'd fucking kill himself. Yeah? Where's the short course for industrial gas engineers? Oh, there isn't any.
No, I've got a theory about this.
Kill them, Kels.
And this is going to get me crucified.
Let's do it.
Because, right, you can die from any electric shock. We know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. And you can burn down people's houses quite easily as a domestic electrician. But like I say, how hard is it to master the basic principles of electrical installation? And
no, it's not. That's why sitting girls do level 2 and 3. That's what that is, yeah. But what I'm saying is, if we're saying you can just do this in under a year, well, go and do an HV course, go and do industrial gas work, go and do welding. There's no short courses to them because they are skilled trades you need to learn. But for some reason, normal electrical plumbing, all that, they're not. They're just like, oh, you can go and do a little course and retrain.
Yeah, but how hard is it to change a light? It really ain't.
Well, was that what sparkies do? Change lights? I'm not saying that.
That's the perception. So when you try and argue with someone about it, it's like, mate, it's 3 wires. What?
All
you really need, if we're going to do it technical above board and everything, all you really need to change a light fitting or put in some downlights is the ability to safe isolate a circuit, which is is day one shit.
Mm-hmm.
Go and then learn how to do a radial with a switch wire.
Yeah,
that's it. It's not hard.
The problem is
the real skill, and what you and the reason why the JIB handbook is such a nonsense across the whole trade is because there is a difference in electrician when it comes to experience.
Mm-hmm.
I, like yourself, I'm an experienced electrician. I can go into an industrial site, I can go into a commercial site, and I can go into a house and be able to apply my skill set to a reasonable standard across all three. So that is not represented in the JIB handbook, which is a whole nother thing. Just a tangent for this. But off the back of these courses, it should be made very clear. You could go and do basic household stuff and be safe. And I think that's what they're aimed at, is being able to go and do basic household stuff, these fast courses, is to do basics. And I think the perception and the marketing, I think, could be underhand and wrong. And I'm hoping that City and Guilds change that.
Marketing and advertising, we could fucking bang on about it next for hours, because it's just everywhere. But what I will say is, someone like, I'll use David Savery again because I always do, because he's a domestic spark. He doesn't want to move out that scope. He was already skilled. He retrained over a large amount of time. He's clearly very clever and got into it and produces good work on that. Great example of someone who's retrained, who knows what they're doing and knows where they sit in the trade and wants to do that bit. Yeah. But the problem is, what we both know is working industrial sites is you get people go and do these courses, get solve a dream, rock up on an industrial site, a commercial site, and they're getting.
Whose fault's that?
Well, that's the
whose fault that is.
That's the industry.
Lazy managers, lazy hirers, lazy agencies.
You know what though? The industry fucked itself. The industry fucked itself because people. I don't know why I'm throwing these around. The industry fucked itself because it stopped. Oh, we're not going to bother with these apprenticeship things. We'll let go people go and train themselves. Then the whole market sprung up around that. So don't get me wrong. It's not like here's all the answers. the industry fucks itself. It's a very complex measure, but the problem is on I8 is you'll get a good spark undercut by these chances.
No, you don't know.
You
They're not
do.
your competition.
They don't. Oh yeah,
Listen,
everyone loves competition.
Listen, they're not your competition. There is no competition with them. I don't concern myself with improvers, mates, unqualified electricians. I don't need
Stop
them around me.
In your trade, I agree. Yeah, it should be better. But on site, a normal customer, they go, I would like that light and that socket moving. And you tell them it's 300 quid. And the cheapo man who's done his 2-day course goes, I'll do it for 50 quid. As far as they're concerned, the standard of what they want doing is the same. But the price is different because they don't understand the concept of insurance and experience.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I buy the fact that if you're going into someone's house, it's entirely about, it becomes, when you go into someone's house, no one gives a single shit about your qualifications, right? No one. So you need to forget that when you walk into someone's house to do the work. Don't sell on price ever, because you can't make that work either, because then it becomes a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
So if you turn up and all you've got to deliver to the customer is, oh, I'm fully qualified, been doing it 10 years, and then Mario comes along and goes, well, I can do that. I can do it 50 quid.
I think
you need to sell yourself. You turn up in a sign written van. You turn up looking like a proper electrician. That speaks volumes.
I'll flip this in there, and I'll say nap it at the NIC, yeah? Nap it at the NIC, spend all this money on advertising, trying to get people to join the fucking schemes. Why don't they spend some money on educating ourselves? Go, if you get a tradesman around, yeah, you should ask them for a copy of their insurance and to look at some of their qualifications. But if you ask for insurance overnight, it would fucking stop.
But no, here's the thing. If you're a tradesman and you're doing a quote, you need to make that clear yourself. You can't put it on other people and organisations to kiss your ass and make it easy for you to sell. That is not the environment you should be working in.
Going back to City and Guilds, though, yeah? Right? They're independent training provider of courses. And then when someone like the NIC said, if the NIC said to people, of course we go, oh, they're no connection, but they're telling me to check this guy's insurance. I'll check every trade that comes around insurance. And if one of them goes, gives it all that, you know they're no good. But that it needs to come.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But if I was going in, if I'm super serious about setting up on my own, right? First thing I do is I go and get insurance. I go and get all my tickets in order, right? So as I know that I'm as clean cut as anyone else needs to be, because I need to do the basics well to be able to compete with everyone else.
Yeah.
Okay. I go into the customer. Bit like, right, big shout out to Artisan. He has 5 promises that he gives with every quote. Stuff like that. And I know he truly believes them. Yeah?
Yeah.
They're things that are his core values. So if you went into a customer and said, I'll do you a quote on this, no problem. But these are our core values, just so as you know. We're always insured. Our people will always be polite and respectful. We will 100% be clean and tidy, and we will give you the best value for your money. Boom! You go in there and you deliver it like that. You ain't competing with
and on the flip of that, if he says that on all his media, which you tell me he does, if then he doesn't clean up, you go, I'm not paying you. Why not? Well, you said you'd clean up, and in court you'd say, I bought it on these 5 things.
Yeah, but you don't promise them things and don't deliver on them.
No, but you can't legally, can you? Because you get done. But what I'm saying is, to say that out loud and proud, you're then accountable for them. So if you don't clean up, they go, well, I'm not paying you. You guys didn't clean up. So
exactly.
It's a good thing, yeah.
So you can't worry about these Ming Mongs coming in with no qualifications. Like when I walk on site, I don't walk on site and be like, oh, I hope there's no improvers going to try and take my work. I don't give a fuck.
Well, no, you should be able to improvers, but...
Not even improvers. I hope there's no labourers going to start.
I'll tell you what then. Right, when I worked in training, yeah. If you don't know,
I don't want to do baskets. Shit.
I worked in training, right, and I really enjoyed my time training. And I saw some really great people coming through retraining. And I know a couple of sparks. And I'd go like, I'd ring up my mate and go, I've got someone here this week who's retraining, right? And I know you're looking for people to get on board. This guy's decent. I can just tell by his demeanour, yeah. And I'd pass them on because I'm nice like that, honest. But I get some people go, oh yeah, I'm doing these courses. I've got my 2391 book next week. I've got my 18th edition after that. then I'm going to finish this, then I'm going to set up on my own. That's not happening to anyone. No one's doing that. No one.
Yeah, but some people are. But
No.
there is for sure a skills gap at that level. 100%.
Yes.
You do need to do some, and that's why the MVQ's important, really, isn't it? But it's only required. It's not the MVQ is not required by NAPIT and NIC.
It is. It's going to be. Well, I'll tell you what. On the flip of that, it is coming on. That is a thing now. I'll check that with Mark, and we will put it in the comments. Or come back to that.
The only problem with, like I say, and I've said this for years, the only problem with that is there's a company called Quickstep. And I'm sure there's other companies available where you can pay like two grand, and then all you got to do is sign it. And
I've heard of people who work at colleges who'll write them for you, right? And if you do that, you're a fucking arsehole. If you buy that, you're an arsehole.
Who polices that? But what I'm saying is, you've got legit training companies who some might say, well, they're not legit, but they're legit training companies delivering the MVQ already populated and ready to go. So how do you compete against that? So that makes a mockery of the whole system then, doesn't it?
It all depends how much personal pride you've got in something, doesn't it? And how much integrity you've got. You won't last long.
Mate, I don't have any. I am a Lord Chief reprobate.
I think that's the crap, though. People will always find a way around it. But if you want to just... Basically, I've stuck at this trade and kept myself up to date and kept getting experience, and now I'm earning coin. Yeah, and if you want to do a shortcut, you'll probably earn a reasonable amount of coin early on, but you'll never earn any more because you'll never go anywhere. You'll never step up the ladder.
And that's the same across. Yeah, like I know quite a few people now who have been in the game a long while, and they do really well out of it. And it is what it is. But what they did is they applied themselves in 100% to it. This is what they've done. It was more of a mindset. So those people that don't have a clue, they're just out trying it. You know, they're not your competition. I don't give them people a second
right,
thought.
You know what? You're right. But imagine this. As the sound's going on, speak to me.
No, you're all right.
No, that's all right. Imagine this, yeah? You're quite right in what you're saying. They're not your competition. They'll die off. But if there's a constant flow of fresh, new shit competition, it's always in the way. And that's what these kind of dream sellers, sausage factories produce.
I simply don't agree on that thing.
I'm getting rid of that thing now in case trade skills for you allowed to try and sue me. But what I will say is, yeah, let's see where it goes. I just can't, back to the subject, yeah, I can't see how a person that develops courses and exams benefits from owning a training provider apart from financially.
But I feel like they have to do everything really, like, be really compliant with everything they do.
Oh, they're going to get hawked. I think maybe they've not got the soft start they thought they was going to get.
Oh, yeah, because, like, people will be watching now. If they start delivering 2 Bob courses through Trade Skills for You, that's really going to have a backlash against their sort of, like, sitting guilds. There's another one, EAL, right?
Yeah.
No one wants an EAL qualification.
Well, I agree, but maybe now this could be a nail in the City Guild's coffin, respectful in the industry.
Yes, maybe, but I don't want an EAL qualification. I want City Guilds.
There's LCL, they're all right. They do their own version of 2391. And I've always said, oh, fucking waste time. Maybe not now. Because
I don't want a EAL 2391. I don't want it.
I wanted 2391, right? And then I taught it. And then I realised that some other places were fucking mug. I'm not going to name them, but I know people that will just put you through it, get you through it. And I maybe have worked at places like that sort of will like let people resit the exam 5 times on a Friday afternoon, which I think is wrong. But 2391 is a Sparky's course. You should have been a Sparky. The amount of people I've taught who've just come and done it.
Yeah, I do believe if you do your 2391, you should have all your ducks in a row. You should have your 18th, your whatever. An MVQ. I do think so.
I'll say something out loud, yeah. I have passed people for 2391 that I know were not competent to go out and do the job because against the criteria I had to mark them to, they satisfied the criteria, which is a weird situation. I'm not there to judge them. I'm there to mark against criteria. And I've seen people walk out the door and I'm like, you will kill some fucker. You cannot test. But today, you did all right. A broken clock works twice a day, doesn't it? And they managed to get through the exam. And I was like, you've not got a fucking chance.
I've got a thing about all this, right? I've got a thing about this. We ain't got the stats here, and we don't really know.
And we're not that kind of channel anyway.
No, but how many electrical faults and deaths occur directly because an electrician's shit?
I don't think you'd equate many directly because I think
Exactly.
they roll up, don't they? And normally an accident is a series of things.
And it's not just that. It's like I don't know. Someone left. So I know a guy. He left the old halogen downlights. He left the fire cap off it, put the insulation over it, turned the lights on, the house burnt down. Right? That's directly his fault.
Yeah.
Because he's shit. Right? 100%. Well, he was shit then. He was chancing it. Right?
He's probably still shit now, by the sounds of it.
No, he's all right now. He's all right. But back then,
people makes mistakes.
Right, so that's 100% his fault. He burnt down their house, yeah? If a lot of them will be like a faulty washing machine or fridge or some sort of fault.
Yeah.
Like a rat chewed through the cable or something and cause it to.
You'll have like a faulty washing machine that's covered with fluff, for example. You can't, without the fluff, there won't be a fire.
And that's what I'm saying. How many times is it due to negligence of an electrician that has caused a death? I bet it's less than 100 a year.
I bet you're right. I bet it's less than 10. But obviously, save everyone on the lad that killed himself in the car park, which I refer to. That was a direct recurrence of a shit electrician, proven.
Yes. But what I'm saying, and then people go,
but they are very rare.
One death is too many. Listen, accidents happen, people die. That's what happens in life.
I'll give you as a quote for everything, yeah. And like, if you take the amount of fucking hell, E5 be on to me for this. If you take the amount of people that die directly in electrical incidents every year, and you said, "Oh, we've got to make the trade safer, one's too many." What about cars, mate? Cars kill almost as many people.
Take all the cars off the road immediately.
Right? I'm a drive around in a box that's going fast, full of a flammable liquid. Oh, I can't do that.
Get rid of all stairs immediately.
Knives, get rid of knives and sharp
knives,
things.
Stairs, scissors.
So,
chairs. How many people die each year falling off a chair?
It doesn't matter how many people die a year, and Part B proves this. Yeah, it matters how rich they are.
But that's what I'm saying. What I do believe, and what I do honestly believe this now. I don't care what the standard is to what we call qualified, right? I don't even think qualified is that important anymore.
Competence.
Because it's so crap out there, and like it's so hard to really understand what the route to the industry that you want to be. Like it's so convoluted. There's so many ways in. It's like the gate should be that big, but it's actually that big, and like everyone can walk through at once. It's such a load of nonsense. The standard should be written as to what an electrician is, what a qualified electrician is. And until we have that, this is a dumb argument, and this is a dumb debate, and it's a dumb conversation.
And the trade's just getting bigger. And like, I mean, what I do now is very loosely related to being an electrician. But I am an electrician. I've trained as an electrician. I was an electrician. But what I do now, like, I'm nowhere near.
Here's another thing, though, right? There's all these other things coming out now, like EV, like solar and stuff like that. And it's not rocket science. I don't want to hear it's rocket science. Knowing the ins and outs of the industry.
I'm an EV specialist. Well done, mate. What you can ride a radio? Fuck off.
Oh, 6 mil radio. Well done. Like, it's not, what I'm saying is you've got all these small things. And as an electrician, and the number one thing that winds me up the most is when someone says, "Oh, can you do this for me?" And I'm like, "I don't really deal with that type of stuff." And they go, "Well, you're an electrician, aren't you?" Yeah, I'm not fixing your laptop, mate.
I'll tell you what, I'm saying that you're right. I can't be fucked with EV, right? But I'll fit you in for cash. Call me, yeah. It's a radio. It's the most simplest circuit in the world. From a protected device, down a bit of cable to a device, you size it up accordingly, yeah. Now, I just said, "Oh, I'm an EV specialist." Blah blah blah. What's the specialist bit is that they fucked around with enough EV chargers. Oh, I need to do some programming, and they program it. That's the hard bit. The actual electrical work on it is a piece of piss. Could train a person to do it in probably a couple of days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But the bit they do, like it's like fitting battery storage. You literally put a fuse in, put a wire to it, screw it to the wall, and connect it up. The complicated bit is the programming, and that's the way it's going. It's all about programming and stuff like that.
But again, there's no sort of single way into the industry. You can fit EV chargers. There's no law against fitting them without any qualifications. You just can't.
I tell you, it's skilled. PV, not the panels, The roof bit, knowing how to get the tiles. That's the most
I
skilled
bet
bit
that
about
ain't.
people.
I bet that ain't, mate. Like,
No, not if you know, but I mean, to a Sparky, the most skilled part of doing a PV installation is working with the roof. Whereas a roof would say the opposite, wouldn't they?
mate,
But both parties could do the stuff.
how hard is being a roofer?
I don't know. I've never been a roofer, but I don't want to
I
fucking.
kind of listen. They're not king trade, are they?
Hang on. Ask that guy. Yeah. How hard's being a roofer? Ask Rod Hull. Ask him out.
Dickhead.
If anyone, sorry.
No.
Sorry, if you're under 35, yeah, basically this guy. No,
Don't.
Google it.
If you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know. The problem is most of our audience will get that joke. But...
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. How hard is it to be a roofer? Like, it's not a king trade, and what I call is a king trade is like your proper craft trades, not tiling, not painting.
I suppose all the good trades have got a single point of failure. Electricians electrocute himself. Roofers fall off roofs. Plumbers blow himself up with gas.
What do chippers do?
They're not king trades, are they? They're just not fucking things. Oh, a lot of
listen. I would say electricians and chippies are probably king trades.
Chippy, what in a carpenter the proper?
Yeah, proper
chippy. A carpenter. What's the joiner? A joiner's just puts wood together, don't they? A carpenter's a skilled.
Yeah, but like a chippy that can pitch a roof, can build a wardrobe, can put a door on. That's a proper trade because that takes a lot of time and skill to learn it.
Notice that we've not mentioned plasterers or painters there.
I've already meant. Yeah, but they're not king trades. What I'm saying is the king trades are the ones, the pinnacle of trades.
No, that's what I'm saying. Notice we haven't
roofing ain't a pinnacle trade. It's not a king trade. It's
go on.
Because they need a chippy to do most of it anyway.
But tell the people at home what I sent you the other day about painters. I sent you a job advert, didn't I?
Yeah, £25 an hour for
£25 an hour for painting. Now, obviously, you've got to take off 3 cans of Super Scope per hour off that.
Yeah, but also it was with counter-terrorism clearance,
which I think is an online course, to be honest.
Well, it's not a course, is it? It's a clearance.
I'll tell you, I'll do an 11 Reef moment here. Yeah,
Here we go.
It was a police station, HQ police station.
Did you
right?
build it with your own bare hands?
I built it.
Did you write the laws around building police stations?
You'll actually like this story. So I've done some work up there because I've got the clearance to work up there. It's not hard. I've just not been in trouble with the police, right? And I've not got any drug convictions or anything like that, which is what we look for. And the guy ran me, and you can't have a conviction at all for anything. You can't have been done for drugs. You know, just the normal stuff you expect to work at a police station. My mate rings me. Do you know any brickies? Yeah, I know a few. Do you know any that ain't got drug convictions or been in trouble with the police? Because we can't find any. And they were literally building, I think they were building the kennels, and the job got delayed for 6 months because they couldn't, they couldn't find a brickie that ain't got criminal convictions or was willing to take a drugs test. So you're like, you got any criminal convictions? No, mate, none. Oh, cool, do you want to work up this thing? Yeah. Do a drugs test. Washing me here, mate, see ya. Got delayed by 6 months, so it just shows you certain trades, especially, I'm talking about you plasterers.
To be honest with you, getting back on track, there's a lot of holes into the industry. And this is what I'm saying about these things like EV and stuff like that. You can sort of go and do that without any qualifications, as long as you know how to make off an armoured.
I think
put away a breaker.
Yeah, and I think the problem is, if we go back 30 years, 4-year apprenticeship at a firm, you become qualified. That was all there was. That was all the entry. That was your narrow way you're on about, yeah? Then someone went, oh, let's just change this a bit. Oh, let's just do that a bit. Oh, let's just do this. And now we're into this fucking wild west of paid training, join a club stuff. And that's the industry's fault.
I think the ultimate thing would be, but who's going to set this standard?
And who is the industry? It's not even owned by
exactly.
It?
There's no one in the industry that can set the standard.
Why the fuck do the NIC and NAPIC get to decide stuff? Who's in charge of them?
Yeah, it's nonsense.
And then the people who write the regs aren't connected to them, and then the people that do the courses aren't connected to them. What the fuck is going on?
IET? Do they need to say, right, well, listen, if you're going to call yourself electrician, you need to have these qualifications?
I'll tell you what, if the sitting guilds are going to buy trade schools for you and develop and deliver the courses, I'm going to set up my own college called Jamie's College, and I'm going to do courses for Sparkies that are legit, mate. Give me £1,000, I'll train you. Because what's that against anyone else's delivery? I don't. Who's even in charge? There's no top of the. I thought all things were like
It's a funny
pyramids.
one, isn't it? It's a funny one. Like, who's at the top of the pyramid of
You go
the
to
electrical industry?
any business, has got a CEO or like whatever. It's a triangle, isn't it? One bloke at the top or woman. 2022.
Have you
All
ever
the
seen
tears
that
on the
Mel
way
Gibson
down.
film? I think it's called Payback. Something happens and he gets knocked for like 70 grand, but he's unhinged. Typical Mel Gibson film.
Yeah.
There's people out there watching this who won't know who Mel Gibson is. How sad is that?
Is it
Anyway.
Rachel Collinari?
He goes on a mission and he just wants his 70 grand. So he goes and busts up these goons and they're like, we ain't got your 70 grand. He goes, all right. So he goes and busts up their bosses and then busts up the bosses above. And he goes, listen, and he finally gets to the table and there's 3 of them. He goes, you ain't the people I want to speak to. Doesn't matter how high you go in any organisation, there's one person at the top.
Yeah. Or you think so.
Anyway, he busts up them 3 and then goes to the top. And he's like, listen, I'll give you £2 million just to go away. And he goes, no, I want 70. Now shut up and give me my money. Anyway, boring story aside, who's at the top of the electrical industry?
Who's in charge?
Who?
Someone's got to be in charge. Royal
People
family.
say the ECA because they got their fingers in all the pies.
So
maybe.
let's look at some structural organisations. Royal family, it's the king. Yeah. The RAF, it's the chief of staff. Chevron or Esso have got a CEO. So the electrical industry has got you got the NRC Napier, and they're run by Searchshaw, and then we've got the IT who write the regs, and then someone else who
delivers. Napier are going to be furious at you saying that they're run by Searchshaw.
I don't give it. Well, who knows? They probably don't know who owns them.
Well, no, they're independent.
They're getting some training grief, aren't they, this week as well?
Are they? Why?
They're delivering, allegedly, I think that covers me legally, they've been delivering training, which they're selling, but I'm not giving them too much bad time for this because this is an industry-wide thing. They haven't got enough IQAs, independent quality assessors, to market, and there's like 6-month delays. I've seen people on Twitter going, I've gone and done my battery course while the iron's hot, and Napier are telling me I can't have my fucking certificates for 6 months because they can't IQA it quick enough. But that proves that even the training industry has not been training up its senior people. Nappy, if you want to come back on that, let me know. Yeah, that's what I heard. That's off Twitter, allegedly. Don't.
I can't even talk on it. I don't know. I don't think Twitter like this channel much. Twitter. I don't think Nappy like this channel that much anyway.
Well, never mind. I'm only reporting what I've heard. That's what we're here for. We are the Electricians channel for electricians. We are not the advertising channel for Napier. But
no.
And I notice there's a bit of a. I'm noticing. Are you noticing? You don't go on social media, or is that a lie?
Do you know what? So here's the thing. I'm trying to unplug a bit, okay? So I'm recently changing over to an iPhone.
For anyone listening, I heard the fucking end of this.
It is hell on earth. Like, I just want to go over to Apple because I'm getting old and I just want a phone that does phone shit and I can go on the internet and have a look at some bits and pieces and YouTube. That's all I want. So I haven't migrated over all my apps. So I haven't got... So what I've got... is I've got my old Android phone at home that just does, that's completely untethered.
Yeah.
I just connect it to the Wi-Fi. And then out and about, I just have Twitter and YouTube now on my phone. That's all I want. So
I'm mostly into Instagram at the minute. I really like it as a platform. I really enjoy it as a platform. I like the company I keep on there, and I like to interact with people on there.
I don't have time.
I don't, but because I host this show with you weekly, I think I should integrate a bit with the trade. And that's where I do. That's where I mostly choose to do it.
I used to be so involved in it, and
you can, and I appreciate you've got to step back, but that's the bit I'm doing.
You know what? I went so far involved, so far involved in it that I was on it 7-8 hours a day screen time.
That's
fucking mad.
If anyone's listening, right, I'll put it out there like this, yeah. Some people will write me quite a long message, right? And I will do my best to read that and incorporate to this show in ways than that, yeah? But I can't write a message that long back. But I'll always just like, cheers for that, we'll look into that. And I'm not just, I can't write the best times, but if anyone does send me on if it comes through on the comments on YouTube or it comes through on Instagram, we all look at that and we do discuss it in the background on what we're going to talk about.
I go through.
It's not wasted.
I always make sure, I always like any comment. Like and heart any comment because I appreciate
acknowledgement.
Yeah, and then sometimes if I've got time, and I never understood how busy it is being like a grown up, but me, I just don't have time to do shit anymore. I can't reply to people. I literally start, and then 15 things happen. I go back. I forgot what I was going to say. I'm old.
I've said that to you. This you invite me on here, and I've said this before, and it was like an hour a week, and it's not. We do a lot of work.
I did tell you that.
Yeah, and you told me that, and we do. Well, I'm not knocking though, but what I'm saying is to anyone listening, without you feeding back and commenting on that, it's a fucking waste of our time. But don't be disgruntled if like you just get a heart or a thumbs up, because we're acknowledging we've read it, and we do. And I'm sure people go, "Oh, I'm honest about that." That's probably because we're responding to you or discussing it because you said
Mate,
it.
and the thing is, we love the comments. I might even do a little comments read out now, shall we?
The YouTubes are great comments. YouTube is open to everyone to see, which is great. If you PM me on Instagram, I read them all, and some of it gets incorporated into the show.
I read them all on Instagram too. I just don't necessarily have quick access to it at the moment.
For example, this trade school for you thing was sent to me on Instagram by numerous people. So if that was you, then we took that forward.
All right, let's have a look at comments.
The only problem for Instagram is it is being ruined a little bit by underhand advertising, but.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I listened to that podcast with Joe Rogan and Zuckerberg.
Oh, is that good?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, the geezer's a bit. I don't like the geezer. I don't like that Mark Zuckerberg. He's a weirdo, and I don't think he does. I don't think Facebook's a force for good in the world. I don't like any of this new bullshit that comes out from these tech companies. Hold on. And one of the things he says about Instagram and advertising, he said like the reason they have algorithms is to knock out companies just being the latest post, because a company can employ someone to sit there all day and just be the last post. So every time there's a comment or something, they could be the first at the top of the page. So to get rid of that, that's why they've had to bring in algorithms. And I always thought that's quite interesting. So companies will always find a way of advertising to get round these little things.
I think
it's super important.
I think maybe the advertise to the platform's wrecked. I mean, I've not got a problem with advertising, but I've said this over and over again. The problem with it on Instagram is people are taking payment in either goods or money and then pretending, which I think is called influence, isn't it, that they've acquired it through their own means.
Who cares?
Well, people, because it's mis-selling, isn't it? It just ruins the platform.
I don't.
You can't skip it because it's embedded in like a seedy way.
Well, I'm going to do some shout-outs, and I think we should start this every week because we don't always reply to comments. So I'm going to do shout-out to everyone who commented on last week's podcast.
Oh,
shout out to Andy Clark. Shout out to Mike's electrical stuff. Gary Barnum.
Mike's electrical stuff, really?
Yeah,
he's great. I like him on YouTube. Good.
Gary Barnum, Anthony Bragg, Sergio Fernandez, For the Burbs, Jim Hook, Sockets, GSH Electrical, UK. Sean Dempsey, Nigel Donnelly, Ryan Howe, Dan in Sparky in Training, Sheridan Hindle, Matthew Rogers from Electrical Academy, I think. It might be, it might not, I don't know. Manpreet Kantara, A Clark 0100, Jada Spark, Mark the Sparky, Libsy, Stephen Skillen. Thank you for commenting.
The one good thing about YouTube comments as well is over private messages, although we'll accept both, is that people can chat about that thing. And yes. I do always read that. And I've still not got anyone called me a fucking massive dickhead. Can some people give me hammered on this post, actually, my mum? So I'll just go there and go, you're a fucking prick, you are. He's a prick, because I generated a negative thing. I'm really upset about it.
What has happened?
What has happened, Sam? Has your AFDD tripped?
No, it's a stupid bloody laptop keeps doing this. It's time for an upgrade, I think. Like, it's time for a new studio setup, because this is tiring. Right, I feel like we are at a natural sort of pause in the podcast.
Because your computer's fucked.
It's going to start cutting out all the time. But I don't know how long we've done. Maybe this is a short one.
So we've reviewed the podcast since I've been on it. Do I get to keep my job?
Mate, I would say this is the best it's ever been.
I won't go that far. I mean,
No, I would, and this isn't a knock on the other hosts and stuff like that. I feel like we get to get into some real some real nuts and bolts, because you're as passionate about the industry in the same way I am. I think that really helps. I think, and I just think like we actually love having the little debates and stuff like that. I think that's really a good thing for any podcast, is to have good, healthy debates.
If anyone's out there as well, if anyone's getting messages off me, yeah, I'm working on you. So people who are keep going, oh yeah, we'll do it. Oh, come on, a bit scared, a bit nervous. Get on.
And listen,
it gets easier.
There's two things I don't ever want to talk about on here. Okay, we're never going to. Should I even say this? Probably not. Listen, it's not an open platform. If you've got something to talk about and it's interesting, we'll entertain it. I'm not going to be one of these people that says, like, oh, you can come on. We're a channel of the people. We are, but we also have to think about how difficult it is to sort of make a semi-entertaining podcast. Yeah. It ain't easy. So we have to sort of pick and choose in a way where we think it's going to work. And guess what? We don't always know if it's going to work or not. I didn't think the Verso podcast would work.
You know what?
I didn't think it would work.
That one. Do you know, I'll tell you what's weird. And I've sat here, I've recorded a few of these. I'm like, this is not great. This is not great. And then when I've listened back, they've been two of them I've done. I'm like, this isn't going great. I don't start trying to influence it, but I just go with it. Yeah. And I start thinking, fucking hell, that's a bit shit. I always listen back to them, because otherwise I'd improve. And they were the two best ones.
You just
genuinely, I'm not saying that. That's not bullshit. Yeah. That's genuine. I've listened back for, and I know they're good, because the ones I enjoy are the ones where I forget I'm listening to myself.
But what did you think of the Verso one? Like, I'll tell you why I didn't think it would work. Because I've had other...
No, stop. I'll tell you what you said to me, yeah? You said people won't listen. They'll think we're just getting someone on who's a manufacturer. They're not interested. Yeah. But Will came... I thought, because that was the first time I spoke to Will, I thought he came across as a guy that's genuinely interested in flogging something, and he wants it to be quality. And, I really enjoyed in it, the most interesting with me, how Edmondson train their people. That you've got to have been on the phone, you've got to be on the counter.
Yeah,
I thought that was, and then what that said to me is, although he's not a sparker, in the job he's done his time.
So tell me this then: what have you enjoyed about the podcast, like in general, in the last? I don't know. I think we've done about 10 now. No, maybe a few more.
Is it more than that? Swearing. I like swearing.
2, 3, 4.
For the audio viewers, Sammy's counting.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16 today.
What do I like having a platform.
Do you want to be famous?
No, but I do want to benefit the trade that's benefited me.
Oh, do you know what?
Don't like his bollocks.
Yeah.
It's not like that. People do have good intentions, about stuff.
It's so bollocks, isn't it?
Right.
I just want to give back to the trade.
I'll tell you what, generally, I had, so when I first left school, I went to work for I can name these people, I went to work for a firm called Cannon in Burnt Joyce in Nottingham.
I worked for Cannon.
Not this one.
Cannon copy. I was on the help desk for Cannon copiers and fax.
No, Cannon Electrical. So for there, my gaffer was a guy called Tony Long, who was influential in my career, totally influential in my career, and I turned out. Guy called Harry Parra. I think I'm going to tell a story about him about wishing he was dead once.
Are you going to tell the story?
What was the story? I forgot.
I don't know.
I can't remember. What I'm saying is, but what I'm saying is, all these people put me where I am, and that's only fair that you try and do that for the next set of people coming through. Otherwise, you're an asshole.
Any other reason? I don't do it for any other reason now. And I've had all these things, but I didn't really buy it myself. I do it because I like podcasting.
Yeah, I know you do that.
We talk about. That's right.
But did you have people help you when you're training? You really help you out and taught you stuff?
Yeah.
Right. Do you give that back with people on your sites?
It's a tough one. Like, there's some people that come along and I think,
not dicks. I mean, people who are generally interested, who need a little bit of guidance. Again, you're not an arsehole.
I have a very different work mentality. Like, I don't go to work to enjoy work. I go to work to get it done. I don't want to be friends with no one. I don't want no one to help me, and I don't want to help no one.
Sam's got no friends. Hashtag. I've wrote a post note here. This week, if you like this podcast, you might not like what I'm about to say. Yeah, if you enjoy this podcast, then you should listen to the Thomas Nagy podcast off Fixed Radio, because
Fuck
I
off,
find
what are you
it.
doing?
No, they did a short course one today, right? And I've listened to it, and it was really good. And we've talked about course on this.
Don't fucking listen to Thomas Nagy's podcast. Shut up, Monday Club. We're out. Oh, it's legit cut off. Oops.